Some of the greatest sports moments. And if you're not a sports person, you don't care about what I'm saying. But I mean, just really some historical sports moments I've been very privy to often in those days as the lone female in the locker room. So, and because I'm 6 feet tall and I looked like it, I'm an athlete, that players, I had a pretty decent ride of it, but they still pushed your buttons as a girl. And, this was way before the Me Too movement. But what happened is 9/11, it changed the direction of everything. The show that I had been working on had been canceled. I was co-hosting an evening from 9 to midnight sports talk show in the city. And I had absolutely hit my pinnacle of my professional career. And then the world changed. And I was so far from home. I'm from Wisconsin originally. And I'd lived a really cool life. I'd made it to the tippy top of hosting my own show in New York City. And then that world-changing event happened, and I kind of reevaluated. I did make a conscious effort to leave, and I did return home to Wisconsin. And in that transition to leave New York, and I knew that I was going to leave broadcasting, because when I got back to Milwaukee, all of the same players were still in place where my career had began. So I'm that girl that was like, I'm not going backwards. So I made a conscious choice to pursue healthcare. My original thought at that time, so this would have been late 2001, early 2002. I thought, well, I'm a broadcaster, I'm a communicator, I'm a writer. I could be a spokesperson for a hospital network, or it just made perfect sense to me. It made no sense to anybody else. No one could get past like, oh, you covered the New York Jets? Tell me about Bill Parcells. What's he like? And I'm like, I'm sorry, Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Aren't we here for me to talk about? Yeah. So no one could get past it. So Whitney, what ultimately ended up happening is I'm a hustler. I was then, I still am. And I took the very first job that anyone would take me in, which was an activity assistant at a skilled nursing setting in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Good luck finding that on the map. And I know now, I can't even spell it. Yeah. I know now what I did not know then is I was a warm body. I could walk and talk and chew gum at the same time. And voila, I was now an activity professional in a skilled nursing setting. And and again, that reporter instinct was in me. I was paying attention to everything and soaking things in. And I realized, oh, wow, okay. There's a lot of opportunity for a person with my drive, with my hustle to navigate this business. I was in my 30s already when I did this. So I was, savvy and, if I could navigate New York, there's nothing that I could in male locker rooms in professional sports, nothing was going to deter me. But I'm going to tell you something. The senior living space was not super welcoming of this big voice, big personality girl that didn't really know anything. I was asking a lot of questions. I was asking why. Well, why do we do it that way? Nobody liked that. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Until, I only lasted at that nursing home 4 months, because in that 4-month time, I created, this is almost hard for me to imagine, but now all these years later, I can kind of see why it is imaginable. I was the first person in the history of that community, that nursing home, to create an intergenerational reading program with, by the way, the elementary school that was like 400 yards from the front door of this nursing home. Yeah. And I walked over there one day and talked to the principal and said, hey, this is who I am. Would your kids like to read to my residents? And you would have thought I had cured dementia at that point. I couldn't get over how everyone was so amazed that I had done something like that. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could do this literally in my sleep. Yeah. So it was that got attention. I got on the radar of other people in the area. And then I went on to be at literally my next job. 4 months later, my next job is the director of a brand new adult day program that the Lutheran home had just opened, and they needed somebody to get people to, come. And so I kind of had an operation and now a sales position trying to get people to come to this brand new adult day service program that was in the area. And it just kind of catapulted from there. So I started to, but again, until I got some more successes under my belt, Whitney, where nobody guided me, I continued the intergenerational thing. It had worked so well at the nursing home. I launched it bigger with more schools and more children with the adult day. And with my media background, I will tell you, I was working those angles too, because remember, I shared with you that many of the same people who were in that market from a broadcasting and media perspective were the same people that I had worked with when I started my career. So I was pitching them stories and I was saying, hey, think of the photo op of these cute little babies being held by residents with dementia. And I got a lot of media attention for the work that I was doing back in those days. And it just kind of just kept snowballing and snowballing. And then by the end of my time when I just left, just in April, I was a senior vice president at a pretty big operator here out, on the East Coast. I'm now back in the Carolinas. So it just went to show me that, I wasn't going to take no for an answer, but I also knew that those successes, that even though not many people were high-fiving me on the front end, because there was, how it goes, there's this new upstart. Who knows, maybe there was some jealousy. I choose to not really focus on that. But I do know that there did come a point about 5-6 years into my journey where now all of a sudden people were asking my opinion and asking for my advice and asking how they could do what I do. And I was so much newer and greener. But it's that don't ask for permission, apologize later mentality that I have, that I think that has continued to really work for me throughout my almost 20-year career in the business.
Yeah.